Hi everyone, my name is Heather Havenwood and I am super excited about this interview. One, because I have a really funny story about this guy. It's gonna be kind of fun to talk about. He's like, oh, don't tell that story. It's gonna be hilarious. So we're gonna have some fun today. But more importantly, we've been in the green room for almost half an hour, basically talking about his really amazing agency and his platform that we're gonna be talking about. So he had no idea that he was gonna potentially have me as a client by the end of that 30 minutes. But hey, that's what happens. That's why people are on podcasts. That is why I do this, because I meet some really cool people. And now you get to meet him too. So Michael, are you there?
I am. Nice to meet you, Heather. Thanks for having me on the show today.
Yes. So I like to start out with something funny because it's funny.
Sure.
And if anyone here is listening and they remember Blab, raise your hand, even if you're, in your car. And I love Blab. Blab is where back in the day you could show up in people's rooms. They were all video and you could literally call it walk into a room and people were just like hanging out together. Total strangers. I think it was a lot of fun. Blab is no longer with us. Well, yesterday I was on a call and with my friend Chris, we're talking masterminding stuff with podcast cool stuff. And all of a sudden this random person walks in our room. This is the video. And so I'm like, Chris, hey, you have another, client. He's like, it's not my room. It's your room. So I'm like, oh, do I have something? Anyway, long story short, Michael, our guest, walked into our room. And
I was happy to be there.
He just happened, and we didn't know who he was. We literally thought it was this total stranger, like a Blab, until 20 minutes ago. And he was like, hey, by the way, that was me, walked into your room on total accident. And I giggled because it reminded me of the Blab days. So thank you for telling me it was you.
Yeah, no problem. Happy to do so.
It did remind me of the Blab days. Okay, yeah. So let's tell people who you are. Michael Koral, who is in Canada, Chief Operating Officer and co-founder of digital advertising agency, Robo Agency and Platform, which we're going to talk about today. This is super awesome and cool and nothing I've ever heard of before. Needles, Needls. That's the name of the company. Has always had an entrepreneurial spirit. Michael started his first business while still in university at the age of 18. Now in his 30s. I like how you were like 30s, kind of broad. Mm-hmm. That's what happens. You're like
mid-30s now.
30s, right. That's what happens when you get older. When you're younger, it's like, I'm 5, I'm 6. Now it's like 30s. Yeah. With many years of experience in several successful startups and exits, Michael helps other businesses reach potential clients at just the right time. Michael says creating businesses that help people is what motivates him. Every company he started and worked with has stemmed from a problem that needed a solution. That's so true. Now with Needles, the company he's excited to bring that knowledge and passion to businesses looking to leverage social media. So welcome.
Thank you. Great introduction.
You're welcome. And your website is needles.com. I'll spell that N as in Nancy, EED as in dog, LS.com. No E. Awesome. So, Canada, let's talk about this platform because we've already talked about it for half an hour. And I just think it's super great. We're going to talk about your story as well. But really, this platform I haven't heard of before. Let's just dive in. Let's dive in with what was the problem you were trying to solve?
Sure, absolutely. So thank you for that. So back in I guess it was 2014, 2015, myself, my two co-founders, at that time were running two other businesses. One was WeSellYourSite.com, which is a website brokerage firm. And another one was All You Can Eat Internet, which was a web development company. And we knew there was another way to, find leads, right, for our two businesses. So one day, my business partner's wife actually was going through her Facebook news feed, right, and saw that someone was actually saying, hey, I'm looking to get an iOS app developed. Do you know anybody? And she just basically passed on that lead on Facebook directly to Justin, my co-founder, who basically turned that into a $60,000, job. Right? So we're like, hey, we're kind of onto something here. Basically people are talking about all the time on social media about needing and wanting things and asking for things, right? That's why Facebook themselves has a recommendation engine. Say, anyone looking for a good, restaurant in Toronto, and then all their friends kind of say, okay, go here, go there, right? So at that time, we kind of built like a little script to monitor our own Facebook pages to identify who's talking about the need for a new website, to sell their business, whatever, leads that we would need for those two businesses. And it was working for us, and we were getting more sales and more leads for our own businesses. So we thought that, okay, if that was working for us, it can work for other people too. So we created the first iteration of Needles, where all it was basically finding leads on social media, on Facebook and Twitter specifically, and providing those leads to our clients, charging a subscription model. Right? Back in about 2 years ago, 2016 in April, we turned that into what it is today, which is the internet's first ever robo agency. So what we do, we allow small business owners to create, target, and optimize Facebook and Instagram campaigns just by answering a few simple questions about their business. We charge $100 a month to access the platform, and only 10% is spent. And we're really solving a problem in the market, because before we actually launched this, there's only so many ways a small business owner can actually run Facebook ads or Instagram ads. So number one is you can do it yourself, which is increasingly difficult, especially with tons of new entrants into the market. So a lot of people just waste a lot of money by trying to do it themselves. So then you think, okay, hey, I can go to an agency. But typical agencies, they charge $1,000, $2,000 a month plus your ad spend, which is too expensive for your dog walkers, your insurance agents, your real estate agents. They just can't afford that, right? So then you say, okay, there's a third option. There's tons of these platforms that are out there to optimize campaigns. But we realized basically every competitor, we would call that's out there, are really meant for your experienced marketers, the people who know that they have some knowledge and they want to just automate that knowledge, right? But if you don't have the knowledge, you can't really use the platforms, right? If you don't know what CPC means or CTR means or CPMs or relevancy scores, and there's tons of different metrics that Facebook has that you can use to help optimize your campaigns. If you don't know those things, then how are you supposed to automate that knowledge on those platforms? So we kind of drew a line in the sand and said, look, we're going to go after the people who do not know how to run Facebook ads effectively. They know they have to do it. They just don't know how to do it properly. So that's why we invented Needles.
I just want to acknowledge the fact that usually, you're right, with Facebook ads, you have to do a fee plus media buy. So someone who knows what they're doing plus media buy. And usually, you're right. I have to grow a chiropractic company, weight loss company here locally, and it's not enough traffic really to be able to drop $2,000 a month on a management fee at Facebook, when you're not even probably spending $2,000 a month on Facebook, right?
Exactly.
You still need to have that kind of it's constant, right? The data, the switching, the tweaking, all those things. So this is brilliant. And they've already done this with Google AdWords. I used to work for a company called Reach Local back in the day, which all it was a software that focused on local businesses that would to do Google AdWords, but didn't, again, want to spend $1,000, $2,000 a month on management fees plus media buying, okay? So it's brilliant what you're doing. I love it. I totally get it. So people who are listening, this is just such a brilliant thing. What I asked, though, in the green room, which I'll ask you now publicly, is like, how are you doing that? Like, are you doing an API with Facebook? Like, that's kind of cool. We didn't know you could do that. Can you, obviously without going like details of your proprietation, I just probably people want to understand, like, how are you doing that? Are you overlaying on top of Facebook?
Yeah. So we've created, an overlay to make it super simple for small business owners to create campaigns on Facebook and Instagram. If you try to go to Facebook directly to create an ad campaign, the first thing you have to do is create an ad account. And most people have no idea how to create an ad account. So that's like a stop right there. But let's say you can create the ad account. The next step is choosing your objective. And for most small business owners, the objective is, hey, I want more customers. I want my phone to ring, right? I want more leads, right? They don't know the difference between, I want more conversions. I want more clicks to my website. I want more visitors to my store. There's about 15 different options you can choose from. So we kind of, scrapped that and said, hey, let's just have our clients answer a few simple questions about their business so they can come in, answer what they know. What is your website? What are some basic keywords about your business? What's your, weekly budget you want to spend on Facebook, right? What industry you're in? What's a headline or text that describes your product or service? All these like little pieces of information that you really should know if you're a business owner. But if not, we have, live chats that can help you actually create campaigns on the fly. So even if you have no idea how to come up with proper headlines for Facebook, you kind of just reach out to our live chat and we would give you those answers. And our team is kind of, they're pretty smart with coming up with the great headlines. We have about 300 different industries on our platform, right? So they're very well versed in coming up with great headlines for, pool installation or business coaches or real estate or dog walking. It doesn't really matter kind of the niche. We've hired the creative team to do that.
Okay, so this is great. But first of all, you've done the creative piece. You have that. You have help with the headlines. Again, these are challenging things for most business owners because they're not trained in direct response copy. Right. And then you have the algorithm of Facebook, which you guys have, I would say, dummy down. You've just made it simple. You've made it self-serving in a way, right? So that people can go through the process. And so if you have a dog walker business or a chiropractic or a local business or even a mortgage business, right? Or a real estate company locally, you can actually do this and not feel like you have to go do a full-on training with, Facebook.
Exactly. And I didn't actually touch upon, how we target and how we optimize. And I think that's pretty important to speak to. For the last, if you want to go on Facebook and just target yourself, and if you've done it before, you can pick your interests, you can pick your gender, you can pick all your basic demographic information, and then hope that the demographic profile that you created is the audience that you want to target, right? That's the hope, and that's what Facebook kind of allows you to do. What we do is we actually kind of flip that around. We've been monitoring social media conversations, all public social media conversations for the last few years to identify purchase intent and buying signals within social media posts, and then serving ads to people that actually say they have a need and people similar to the people who say they have a need. So as an example, let's say you're a real estate agent in Toronto, right? Toronto, Canada. And someone on Twitter says, hey, I'm looking to sell my house, right? We'll actually post or provide the ad to that person for that real estate agent on Facebook shortly after they say they actually have that need, right? So we kind of flip the targeting on its head. We say, forget about, age, gender, demographics, all of that. We're going to actually identify who your demographic target is based on who's actually talking about the need for your service on social media, right? And based on tons of different keywords, not just explicit keywords like, I need a real estate agent, but maybe something like I'm looking to move, or I just had a baby, I need to expand, like I don't have room in my apartment anymore, right? Well, chances are you need a real estate agent to find you a bigger house, right? So that's the targeting aspect. Optimization, we do that all through our own internal algorithm that we've built through machine learning and data science. I'm not going to get too detailed into that right now, but bottom line is we outperform what Facebook can do themselves. Our CPM rates are a lot lower. Our CTR rates, which is the click-through rate, basically means how many people that see your ad are actually clicking, is double what you can do yourself on Facebook on average. Right? So not only are we an easy way to create Facebook and Instagram campaigns, but we're a lot more effective than Facebook directly.
Right. Okay. That's really powerful. So you're in your platform, you're doing Facebook and Instagram. I want to make sure people heard that.
Yes, Facebook and Instagram, both. It is the same platform now. The ad platform is the same, right?
Yeah.
Since, on Instagram, but we used to be on Twitter. It wasn't as effective as Facebook and Instagram, so we removed that. But now it's exclusively Facebook and Instagram for advertising. Yes.
Okay, so Facebook and I want to ask you this question, which I didn't prep you on. But in Facebook, are you doing ads inside the bots?
Inside the bots, like messenger ads?
Yeah, messenger ads.
Not yet, right? It's something that's on our roadmap. Right now we do exclusively, image and video ads, right?
Yeah.
You can do like campaigns, you can do click to website campaigns, conversion campaigns. You can still do the basic things like uploading custom audiences and doing lookalike audiences and things like that. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about when I'm listing these things, then I can help you with that, and we can kind of dumb that down to make it easy for you to understand those things. That's no problem. But yeah, I hope that helps.
So if people are listening and either A, they're a local business, or B, they're an agency, you have a potential product there with agency potential. So reach out to him as well. So white label, private label, that's really hot, by the way, when you're dealing with an agency and they want to increase the money coming in from their agency for their current clients they're already getting. That's the best way to do it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We have a ton of agents on our platform that they use needles as their secret weapon, right? Because they may be, let's say, a web design agency, right? And they know that everyone, once they finish the project, they want to offer them something else as a value add, but they don't know themselves really how to do Facebook ads properly. They use our platform. We white label their billing. We white label their reporting, so they basically can, use needles for their clients without their clients knowing they're using needles. Nice.
That's right. So let's just baseline of an agency, right? When you're having a digital marketing agency at any level, any kind of agency, consulting, whatnot, you want to keep the dollars in the house, as I call it, right? In the casino. So the best way to do that is find different services that potentially white label like his, where you already have the client, you're already building the trust relationship with the client. Why not just add this one piece? And from this interview, and you're going to reach out to Michael directly through needles.com, it's needls.com, where basically you know that the service is going to be done for them. They're going to be happy with it, which is really critical. I mean, I know a guy right now, he's got a chiropractic digital marketing agency. I think when I talked to him, it was a year ago, I think he had like 10 clients where they were all chiropractors, local businesses, and he ran all their Facebook ads nonstop for them. But he's managing all of that, and which I think working with you guys would be even probably better. He didn't feel he has to probably manage it as much. He would be able to use the data versus the management of a human error. Which brings me to my next point.
Sure.
The beauty of what you guys have is all this data. Facebook has all the data. Shh, they don't use it. Just kidding.
Be careful there.
I know, right? They're listening. So anyway, they don't use the data. They don't breach anything. And they have all the data of all this great knowledge of what works, what doesn't work in the ad buying space. I mean, that's really why they're so powerful. Can clients or agencies, either have access to or get the information of that knowledge, meaning, hey, in Wisconsin, these are the ads that really worked well for our local dentist. They might work well for you in Chicago.
Sure, that's a good question. So we obviously collect that data,
sure,
right? And we know internally which ads can work better for certain industries in certain places. So when our potential customers ask to say, hey, do you have any real estate agents in Toronto that are successful with Facebook ads? We'll say, sure. Here are a couple examples of headlines, text, and images that could work for you as well. Absolutely. It's not something that we sell to our potential clients, but down the road, there's a play for, big data, to sell this type of information to, enterprises to be able to use that stuff for their own clients. But sure, we, internally we aggregate basically all the different statistics that we collect over all the different industries across North America for all of our clients. So we know on average, what's a great CTR, what's a great CPM, what are the top performing ads, and what are the criteria of those ads? What do they actually look like? What does the headline say? What does the image say that allows you to get a 10% click-through rate? What industries are they in? So we have all that data, which is great. But when our customers ask, it's basically kind of one-off. Sometimes, we have a client in that niche, in that location. Other times we don't. I mean, it's a funny thing. We have, over 1,000 clients on the platform, but we have 300 industries, right? Across those 1,000 clients, right? So we're not really relying on one main industry, you know, to be a successful startup. It's really, it really works across, you know, every industry, right? It doesn't matter if you're B2B, B2C, e-commerce, you know, traditional brick and mortar. It doesn't really make much of a difference as long as you know that you can get results like from Facebook. You know what you want to promote, then we can help you. We can help you do that and do it very, very well. So
I just want to share with everybody the power of this, and I feel like I'm on a sales pitch. Is there like as seen on TV someone in my house? I feel like I'm on a sales pitch.
I should have brought the sign.
Right?
You have it, yeah.
Right. You know, have you ever seen those infomercials where the person talks and then the person looks at the camera and is like, "Let me tell you how amazing." You know, I missed my calling. But honestly, like I just was at a Traffic and Conversion Summit late in the year, early in the year.
I was there as well.
No,
I was there too.
We passed in the hall of 7,000 people.
Sure we did.
10,000, I think. And I was at one of the many luncheons, just kidding, evening sessions with cocktails. And there was every night, there was a gentleman talking about how he sells to, I think it was chiropractors or just a local business. He like niched one. And what he does is basically is like, hey, you're my person in city A. Like if you choose me, I have all this data of all these Facebook ads that are working across the country and in your niche. But when you work with me, you're like, that's it. You're local, kind of like owning the spot.
Sure.
And it made sense, right? It's like, that makes total sense because you don't want to have the guy who is literally taking money from your competitor down the street. And you know, that like doesn't make sense. But I want to give you the fee that he was charging. It was $5,000 a month plus media.
Right. For his exclusive, like.
It was exclusive. So it makes sense. He was doing well. Congrats to him. But the point is that you can do the same thing here at a quarter of the cost. It's not going to be that much and still
less than the corner.
like what is it? Probably less than that. And then have most of your money in media buy, which you want. You want to have as much money in your media buy as possible and as little as possible in management as much as possibly can, right? So if you're spending $1,000 a month or $500 a month on management, you know, hopefully you're spending between $1,500, $2,000 or more on a month on media buying. Right. So this brings me to this question, and you're generalizing, and I totally get that, but in local markets that I would call mid-sized markets, I think Austin's a mid-sized market. It's not Houston. I mean, Houston's huge, you know, or whatnot, but or New York. It's obviously going to be more in New York City. But for local businesses, what are you finding is the average media spend per month to be successful? Budget? Sure.
So, I mean, and yes, I'm going to talk generally because it's hard to do that. We are seeing about $500 to $700 a month, typically for, so call it $600, typically for SMBs in, you know, across North America, right? Of course, there's clients doing, you know, thousands of dollars a month. There's clients doing just $50 a week, which is $200 a month. But on average, it's about $600 a month, right? That's typical. And you can get good results from that, right? But we've seen clients go and, you know, our platform's self-serve and there's no contracts. So you can start, you know, start today, stop within a month. But we ask clients to give us at least 6 weeks, right, to create a campaign. Because if you're hoping, you know, to spend $50 in 1 week and get, you know, 500 leads and then make your $1 million and then retire on the beach, it's just not going to happen, right? You need to give advertising some time, right? So we say, give it at least 6 weeks, do it a budget that you're comfortable with, understanding that it needs to be at least that six weeks, right? So most people are, you know, comfortable with around that $600 mark in general, and that gets them good results. And then we see if they reach that 6 weeks, if they're patient to reach that they increase their budgets, you know, considerably after that because they're getting results with it, right? And they're happy with that. Yeah.
That's really awesome. No, I love that because it's true. And a couple things I want to just highlight what you said. One, you got to give it time. You got to give it time. You got to give it time, 5 to 6, 8 weeks to be able to really get the data this works for you so you could tweak for that. That's a big one. A lot of small business owners don't like that. The other thing is you got to be willing to spend it. $500, $600, $1,000 a month. That's not bad to get one client. The average dentist, chiropractor, attorney, let's just say, or even local automotive store, you're going to have a client between $500 to $1,000 anyway. You're going to get that back. And so you have to look at that. How many clients does it take for us to get our rate of return of 0? And then how many clients does it take to get a rate of return of $1, right? And so looking at that, if it's 1 or 2 clients, it's worth it. If it's like 100 to get the $500 back, I don't know if it's worth it. It's a numbers game at that point. Let's talk about different industries if you don't mind.
Sure.
Do you have lawyers?
We do have lawyers. We got lawyers. We have accountants, insurance agents. There's a lot of home services. That's a big niche for us. Just like your plumbers, your pool cleaners, your window cleaners, things like that. It's really across the board. When I mentioned, I give you that statistic. We have 300 industries. Our top industry may have like 6 or 7 clients. That's it, right? Because we're just across tons of different verticals. But yes, we do have lawyers, if that was the question. Absolutely. I would point out though that, we do have, yes, we have lawyers.
We have lots and lots of lawyers.
Lots of lawyers, criminal lawyers, whatever lawyers, this lawyer, that lawyer.
The good ones to have are the DWI lawyers because they spend a crap load of money. At least they do in Austin, the big billboards and stuff like that. There's a guy here, I don't know his name, but I think his first name is David. That's really good. That's really good advertising because I don't drink really. So, anyway, but he has this image on his billboard that has him, he's a white dude, and he's in dreadlocks. And he's got this beard. And supposedly the story goes is like he dresses like that for a purpose. That's a lawyer. And he's like, hey, if you're like ever get caught with DWI or pot, like call me. So that's the ad. And supposedly what I heard was at one point in his life he was like the straight-laced white dude. And he decided to like do all this of his hair to get clients, and it works because that's funny. Billboards everywhere.
I have a similar story. The initial iteration of our product, as I mentioned, we were just delivering leads to our clients, and one of our clients happened to be a DIY lawyer, or exact DUI lawyers. So he was a client of ours, and one of his clients at the time got a DUI and tweeted, about, crap, I just got a DUI, before contacting his lawyer, right? Which he should have. But our platform actually pulled up that tweet from his client, and our platform notified the lawyer basically saying that he got the DUI, right? The lawyer called the client saying, I have to hear about this from Twitter and not from you specifically, that you had a DUI. So that was really funny. Like, it was, that guy's a client for life.
That's like a tagline. It's bad when your lawyer calls you and says, I just heard you guys a DUI.
Like, why are you tweeting about it before calling me? Like, I
heard you're in jail for murder. Like, why didn't you call me? Where'd you hear about that? Twitter, dude. Twitter.
Yeah, it's public, it's a massive cocktail conversation.
That is really good. Okay, so I just love what you're doing. I love it. It's great. Where can people find you? But more importantly, if you could give people understanding of like costs, right? So just get an idea. There's different plans, I'm sure. Is it self-serving?
Sure.
Do they need an assistant? If they're not into marketing, can they still use it? Are people here in the North America so they can actually call us? Everyone overseas? Like, these are the kinds of things I think small business owners really think about. And then more importantly, the agency stuff.
No problem. I can start first. Like, you can obviously visit us at needles.com. You expressed that before, needls.com. But we actually have a special promotion that we want to give to like you, the listeners of the WIN podcast. If you go to www.needles.com/thewin and you use coupon code THEWIN, right, we'll actually give you 35% off our monthly subscription fee for a full year. Okay.
That's awesome.
$100 a month. It's only $65 a month, which is pretty good. So as far as like minimum costs, right? You'd be on the hook for the $65 a month, but again, cancel any time, no problem. And then it's up to you what budget you'd want to spend. We start as low as $50 a week, right? So that's $200 a month to start with us. We're based in Toronto, Canada. All of our representatives, like our user success team, is all based in Toronto, right? You can access us by phone between the hours of 9 and 7 p.m. Eastern time. There's live chat constantly. So you can talk to us and make sure that, you're doing the campaigns properly. But the biggest thing is you don't need to know a lot about social media to be effective with us. We're the platform for the people who have, perhaps tried Facebook ads and failed at it, or just have no idea how to do Facebook ads themselves, right? Those are the people that come to us and get fantastic results. Now, don't get me wrong, if you're a pro and you're listening to this and you've already got ridiculous results, like amazing CTRs, we'll beat those, right? We will do better for the pros as well. Okay.
Boys, he just threw the gauntlet down. Boy, yeah.
There you go. There you go.
CTRs. Look at that.
But yeah, you can come if you want to reach out to me personally. You can email me at michael@needles.com, michael@needls.com, and I can send you a link to book a direct call with me as well.
Oh, I love that. I like how you threw the gauntlet down, though.
No problem. I'm happy to do that. Happy to.
A boss.
Didn't you ask for that? Didn't you ask for that?
Of course. You are with the sexy boss. You got to bring it. You know what I mean? You got to bring it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we'll wrap it up. Wayne, just 1 second. We'll wrap it up. And I just want to make sure everyone knows who you are. So it's Michael Koral. You can reach him at Needles, NEEDLS. And I'm super excited to have you on The Win. Thank you so much for your time. Is there anything else you want to say? You go ahead and repeat back the coupon code as well as the offer.
Sure. Yeah. So if you go to needles.com/thewin, so THEWIN, you can get 35% off our monthly platform fee. So instead of $100 a month, it's only $65 a month, and you can get that for a full year using the coupon code THEWIN. So THEWIN. So definitely after you listen to this, come on to needles.com/thewin, talk to our agents, ask the questions you want to ask, and set up your first campaign with us. We'd be happy to have you.
I love it. Check them out. I'm going to be using it as well. That's needles.com. All right. Hey, Michael, thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks so much, Heather.
You're welcome. All right, everybody, have a good day. This is Heather Havenwood. Check me out at heatherhavenwood.com.